Hey everybody, welcome back. Erica here with yet again another one. Now in my last video, we went over PTSD. We went over the signs and symptoms, the familiarities with it, as we are all familiar with PTSD. But in this video, what I wanted to do was kind of go over C-PTSD, okay, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, CPTSD is the same as PTSD, but it's just like it says it in its name. It's a little bit more complex. CPTSD basically is a condition where you experience PTSD, but you're experiencing it for a prolonged period of time. It usually stems from the type of abuse that has been ongoing throughout your life. Now, CPTSD is accompanied with PTSD. Okay, but you have a few more symptoms as opposed to just experiencing PTSD. You are basically, you have an inability to control emotions. You are fearful of the world. You are very distrustful. Okay, and though you experience that with PTSD, the difference between PTSD and CPTSD is that with PTSD, you usually experience that when you have a specific traumatic experience in your life. So if it usually, let's say if it only occurred once, trauma is trauma, right? So even if you experienced it once, you have a more likely chance of experiencing PTSD. CPTSD is from prolonged abuse. So if there is a line of physical abuse, sexual abuse, domestic violence, and what we've been even discussing in regards to narcissism, okay, if you have parents that are narcissistic, that's mental abuse, that's emotional abuse. And if it's going from your childhood up until your adulthood, that is what can create CPTSD. It's a prolonged period of abuse that has been inflicted on you, in which you develop CPTSD, just like you develop PTSD, after you're able to break free from that particular type of abuse. Now, in this video, I just wanted to go over a few things in regards to the condition itself. It's still very similar to PTSD, but it's just basically where it's accompanied by additional symptoms. Now, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, okay, is not separated from PTSD. You're still going to experience all of the effects of PTSD, okay? You're going to have intrusive memory. You're going to have avoidance. You're going to have, bad moods, thoughts, things to that effect. So everything that we've gone over with PTSD, you are going to experience that. But with complex PTSD, you're going to experience additional symptoms. Okay, now I'm going to give you the list of these additional symptoms in which you can, you go over them. And if these sound familiar to you, one thing you got to understand, and let's just keep this perfectly clear. It is not your fault. Okay, you did not deserve any kind of abuse. You did not deserve anything that was inflicted on you to cause you any kind of harm. Okay. You didn't deserve any of that. All right. And if you are unable to, as most would say, try to get over it, these are people who don't understand the type of abuse that other people have endured. You have a lot of people in the world that do not understand. It's very difficult to get over mental abuse, emotional abuse. Psychological abuse is extremely dangerous. And it's extremely damaging. And if anyone ever tells you, oh, it happened, get over it, you're old enough now, you should be able to just, live and let it die. No. You deal with your PTSD, your CPTSD, the way you see fit and the way it helps you best. So guys, I'm going to give you just a few of the things on the list of the additional symptoms of CPTSD. Difficulty regulating emotions, which can manifest as extreme anger, depression, or suicidal thoughts, and quick mood swings from one to another. losing memories of trauma or reliving them, dissociation, feeling detached from oneself, changes in self-perception, including feeling totally different from other people and feeling ashamed or guilty, challenges in relationships, including difficulty trusting others, seeking out a rescuer, or even seeking an abuser, distorted perceptions of the perpetrator or abuser, which may include ascribing all the power to this person, becoming obsessed with him or her, or becoming preoccupied with revenge. Loss of a system of meanings, such as losing one's core beliefs, values, religious faith, or hope in the world. Now, with CPTSD, what I get from it, because, I've experienced PTSD, and learning about myself and learning about my life from my childhood up to today. Yeah, I've had not an extensive amount of CPTSD, but I've had enough to understand and identify with it. Okay, but CPTSD, basically, it makes you feel like you have no control or power, that all the control and power has gone into the hands of the abuser. Okay, they're the ones who are maneuvering around you, and they're the ones who are puppeteering you. Not you personally, but the victim. Okay, CPTSD is it's considered to be, because mental abuse is considered to be, in a way, mental death. Okay, before the trauma, you knew who you were. You knew as an individual who you were. Now, if the trauma stemmed from, we're talking from childhood, in that you were just a couple of years old, then no, your identity had been stripped from you before you can even identify your own identity. Okay, and it's very, very disturbing, because everyone is an individual, everyone is themselves, and we all should be given that right. As we're given free will, we all should be given that right to be able to identify with ourselves. No one should have the right. I'm not going to throw religion in this, but if you do believe in a higher power, if that higher power is not going to take away your right to be who you are, to be able to do the things that make you happy, and to be able to have your own identity, what gives anyone else the right to take that away from you? Like I said, it's not your fault, because post-traumatic stress disorder, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, okay, is something that has been inflicted on you, not at your own will. It's not at your will, because manipulation was involved. Okay, manipulation is deceit, dishonesty, okay, misuse of power, control. That is not free will. That is not something that I think any of us would allow other people, if we knew we were coherent about it. That's not the kind of power we would give someone else, especially if they're being very sneaky and manipulative and very selfish in their ways about it. I would never give that kind of power to someone willingly. Okay. And I really strongly believe that people wouldn't do that either. Many people out there wouldn't do that either. CPTSD creates it creates someone opposite of who you truly are to the core. You begin to alienate yourself. You feel like you're different from the world. You feel like you just have to, just kind of push everyone away, and you feel bad about yourself. You feel like you're not worthy. You feel like you have no rights, that everything was stripped from you. And it's really sad. It's really sad, and it pains me. It truly does. And, unfortunately, there's no magic pill that people can take for treatment. The only thing that we can really do to help alleviate, okay, is get the proper support system, okay? Go through the proper channels, try to do extensive therapy, try to address the trauma, the issue, do things that make you feel like you're you. Regain your power, regain your identity, whoever that may be. Regain all that was taken away from you. Take back what has been taken away from you, and really, really remember that, you are worthy. You're worthy of so much more than what has been handed to you. And people dish things to you. Situations happen. And unfortunately, we live in a world where people, not all, but some people will look at you and say, well, it's your problem. You deal with it. Okay. I learned myself personally that people are going to be who they are. And people are going to do the things that they do. And no, you can't change people. You can't change people. You can't force people to do things that they don't want to do. But you can change you. You can decide and say, this is not me. This is not my life. This is not what I want. This is not healthy for me. Be selfish with yourself. Be selfish with your peace. No one's going to knock you for that. Chances are the abusers will. Okay? Those who manipulated, those who lied, those who were gaslighting, those who were leading you to believe one thing when it wasn't the case. Okay? If people truly care about you, I have a video that was stemmed from my codependency. I'm gonna put it up, but it's a 2-part video. It was a letter to the narcissist, and then the second video was from an ex-codependent. Okay? And in the video, I clearly stated, sometimes you have to let people go because your sanity, your peace, your health depends on it. And it's not because you want to. Unfortunately, sometimes it's your own family. Sometimes it could be your own friends. Sometimes it could be anyone that has been in your life. But if they're creating all of these issues, if they feel, that it's wrong, they feel that you're being selfish, they feel that, the position they play in your life, because a lot of them feel entitled, because of the roles they play in your life, they feel that you're wrong for making this choice. Well, something, either you change your ways or you're out of my life. Either you do what you need to do to grow for yourself. There's always room for growth. And people who sit there and say, I don't need to change, I'm perfectly fine with who I am. Not if it's causing me PTSD. Not if it's causing me CPTSD. No. This is not a healthy dynamic, and I can't be a part of this. It could be anyone in our lives, and sometimes it's sad because as much as you don't want to let people go, sometimes you have to. You have to. If your mental health relies on it, if your peace, your sanity, your energy depends on it, yeah, you have to. And it's hard. No one said it's going to be easy because it's not. But you want to live to be 100, right? So, it starts up here, because up here, psychological abuse is a silent killer. It really is. No one knows. No one knows anything. Psychological abuse, you can't feel it. You can't taste it. You can't see it. You can't even hear it. And you know what? It's just the mental health issue in this world is just, it's really, really, it's rising. We got to do something. All right, guys, I'm starting to get emotional, and I get like that sometimes because I just, my heart really goes out to so many people because I know that pain, and I know the feeling, and, I like to see people happy, and I will do and try my best in any way possible to help anybody who may need it, because that's the kind of heart that, that God gave me. And I can't just sit idly by watching other people go through some of the similar experiences I've gone through. CPTSD, PTSD is very, very serious. And, if we can help others, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's make, create awareness. Let's, share videos. Let's do what we need to do to make that difference. We really need to push for that. Help others not go through what we've gone through. So guys, I'm going to be working on some more videos, but in the meantime, I am going to put up the 2-part videos to the narcissist from the ex-codependent, okay? And those 2 videos, I take them to heart because I'm literally putting my soul and my own personal experience, in there. So I will definitely upload those. I hope you enjoy those. Don't mind some of the foul language because we know how I am with narcissists, okay? But if you have any suggestions, I love the feedback. Leave me a message. Leave me a comment. I always read my comments and I always respond. So you guys don't know how much I really appreciate the support, and I really appreciate you giving me that feedback. It really does a lot for me. All right. So be on the lookout for those 2 videos. And in the meantime, working on some more. We're going to do this. All right, guys. So until next time, namaste.